All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Team S Class. So today we're going to be talking about two things actually: the top 10, Final Fantasy franchises, or our picks for top 10,
right?
Final Fantasy franchises, okay, and or top 5, and has Final Fantasy fallen off? Or you know what? Let's switch that. Has Square fallen off? Okay, so. Let's do top 5. What are your top 5 Final Fantasy games?
Oh, this is going to be easy. So, number 1, hands down. You already know this one, you're going to hate it.
10.
Yep. Final Fantasy 10.
Fucking bullshit.
I stand on this. That is out of 1 through 10, that is the best Final Fantasy ever made out of 1 through 10. I get 7. I understand. 7 really brought Final Fantasy to the main stage. I totally get that.
Before I start hating on Final Fantasy X, I'm gonna let you finish. Just
okay.
Go ahead.
7 really did that. 7 gave you like an upgraded level of animation and all this great stuff. But then we get 10. 10 to this day, the visuals still hold up today. 1, 2, 10 gave us the actual voice acting. 10 gave us an upgraded version of turn-based. That turn-based system for Final Fantasy X is probably hands down one of the best turn-based systems you will ever find in any game. The ability to switch out characters whenever you want, control the flow of battle. You can actually see what's going to happen and how each of your moves affect the flow of the fight is great. The story, the writing for that was phenomenal. No one can say Final Fantasy X had a bad story. Nobody. Final Fantasy X is always going to be... That is the game I can play over and over and over and over and never get tired of it. That is always going to be my number 1. Now, what's your number 1? We already know it's Final Fantasy 7.
Final Fantasy 7. I already know my top 5. Final Fantasy 7. Because fuck Final Fantasy X. I hated the main character. Titus was a bitch. Okay? I hated... The only thing he was good at was Blitzball. All right, and the only good thing about Final Fantasy X, in my opinion, were the summons. Auron and what's her old girl, the magic girl?
Lulu?
Yeah, Lulu was pretty legit.
Nah.
Auron was pretty top tier. But I think I didn't like Final Fantasy X because of the main character, because you're coming from characters like Squall and Cloud. And I mean, even Final Fantasy IX's main characters, Zidane, however you say it.
Okay, I love how you use Cloud and Squall. I need you to understand something. How old is Titus?
Isn't he like 17 or something?
Okay, how old is Cloud and Squall? They're like 22,
20s,
23,
yeah,
24.
they're in their 20s.
They're more mature. They can handle all that. Imagine a 17-year-old spoiled brat that is a star of a team, and then he goes from, I don't really like my dad, and he has everything he wants, to... My entire town got destroyed.
Yeah.
Everybody I know is gone. I get sent to another world, and I don't know what is happening. And every time I talk about my town, people think I'm crazy because it was destroyed 1,000 years ago. So imagine a 17-year-old spoiled brat, top athlete that probably gets everything he wants. He has fans. Literally, he probably doesn't have to lift a finger. Everything gets done for him. And now he has to figure things out on his own. Of course he's going to be a little annoying.
I didn't like him
at
all. His weapon was pretty cool, that clear blade.
Oh, yeah, but then you got to use Cloud. Cloud was, okay, I'm like this quiet kid in this town let me go be a soldier. Let me go train and fight. So Cloud already from the get-go, his mentality is going to be different. He has to toughen up. He has no choice. To the point where he's experienced so much trauma seeing his best friend die, dealing with his idol, Sephiroth, turning on everybody, watching somebody he cared about, Tifa, get cut, thinking that she probably died. He saw his town get... Cloud went through so many ups and downs to the point where it's like the trauma that he dealt with is understandable, but Cloud wasn't really handling it well like people thought he was.
He wasn't. He was there. It was like, well, on disc 2, that nigga was upside down on the ceiling.
Yeah. The thing about Cloud was, I don't know if people understand this, he had a personality disorder. He really didn't know who he was. At first, he thought he was an experiment. Cloud, you're not an experiment. You think you're Zach, and you're not Zach. You're trying to be Zach and trying to keep a level head, but like you're literally having a battle up in your head. So I'll take Titus any day. He didn't have personality disorder. He's homesick, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go back to my easy life.
What's your number 2?
Oh, number 2 is going to be Final Fantasy 7. That's not even
What about the rest of them?
So 1 is 10, 2 is 7, 3 is going to be 8 for me. I just like Squall. I think. No, I'll take that back. 3 can be 9, and then 4 can be 8. I think 8 would really turn me off from 8. The world of Final Fantasy 8 is great. The battle system for Final Fantasy 8, like that new drawing for magic and all that, I hated that. I did not like that at all. It was different, but it wasn't.
So what's number 5?
Number 5 is going to be between Final Fantasy 4 and Final Fantasy Tactics. They're tied for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got Damn, Tactics.
Yeah, Tactics is.
They're coming out with
exactly
the HD port.
Yep, and I'm getting it.
There's so mine is 7, 8, 9, 15, and 14. Okay.
15.
Let me finish. So 14, 14 was my intro to MMOs, so I really fuck with 14. And it's so expansive. It's a lot going on, a lot to do.
Yeah.
I love 14. 15, I like 15 because not only did it, I feel like 15 was broken in a sense of the battle system, which they perfected in Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Okay, but the fact that they attempted to switch it up and everything, and it's just literally you and your bros, and actually one of them becomes blind, which is actually kind of crazy. The story, I like the story of 15. The battle system for sure on 15. And then just the world exploration, and you get your fucking car, which is pretty legit.
That can fly.
And then that can fly and go in the water.
Yep.
After you beat the game, right, you can unlock deeper dungeons.
100 level dungeon?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So there's still material to play after you finish the game. Like I said, the battle system, in my opinion, was a prototype. And then they literally perfected it in Final Fantasy Rebirth. But because of everything as a whole, I feel like 15 is just up there for me.
Okay, so this is no hate towards 15. Literally, like I have 700 hours on Final Fantasy 15. That is how much I played that game. I have an issue with 15 solely because one, I thought it was gonna be 13 verses. That's what I wanted originally. Once again, I'm saying there's no hate. 700 hours in the game, I love it. I still play it. Then another issue I had was the homies that you were hanging out with. They gave us a DLC for each individual. Just put it in the game.
Well, I feel like that was just them being greedy.
That was like you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And then here's my thing with Noctis. He is a good MC.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not a bad MC.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, and I get it, it's Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't really like how you just killed him off like that.
Killed Noctis off?
Didn't he have to die at the end?
He was like a prince or some shit. He didn't die.
No, I think he had to die at the end.
No, because his homies.
I think they died too.
No, they didn't die. One of them became blind.
No. So at the end of Final Fantasy 15, when they were fighting the, what were they called, Espers in the 15, and they were trying to get into the building. Remember, they held them off.
The castle.
Right. And they closed the door behind them. I assumed
that he died.
That they all died trying to defend and keep Noctis from,
Right.
Noctis now goes in there. He sits on the throne or whatever. And it looked like he died as well. And that was it.
I thought he was just on the throne. I got to replay that.
I'm pretty sure Noctis and all of them, they died.
I think the homies died, but I think... I got to replay that.
I'll play it again. Look, like I said, 700 hours.
But, yeah, but I feel like the just the story, the world exploration,
And not just the powers are amazing. I love
and his fucking abilities.
One of the best fights in that game for me is you fight another user that can basically fly through the air. She has like a just dragoon lance or whatever. That fight was literally 20 minutes of me in the air, her countering my hits and me trying to teleport to where she's at. That was the best fight. Though his abilities are awesome. I just think Final Fantasy 15, it wasn't a hard Final Fantasy game. I'm not looking for like a super hard Final Fantasy game. I look for Final Fantasy for the story, interesting characters, and exploration. You gave me that. You gave me a car. It can fly. It can go on the water. You gave me random dungeons. Like, there were endless secret areas you can get into. It was as Final Fantasy as Final Fantasy gets. I think Final Fantasy 15 is up there. It won't make my top 10, maybe number 11, but it is a great Final Fantasy. Like I said, 700 hours. Obviously, I loved it.
So his skill set was pretty cool because he has all these weapons that are like glass or light or whatever. And
I wish they could have made the weapon switch faster though.
Right, they could have made the weapon switch a lot better, but he has like this big ass shield, a spear, these swords. His weapon, his kit is very versatile, and then he can literally teleport to any. So it's like a better Minato, ability, and he can literally like make them disappear and then reappear.
Yep.
Like I don't know if y'all have ever played a Grand Blue Relink, but there's a DLC character on there who has like 1,000 blades from another dimension or some shit. Noctis doesn't have 1,000 blades, but it just reminds me of that. Noctis had a really cool power set. Yeah. He had a really cool power set.
Once again, I still wish we got 13 verses. I am upset about that. To my mind, it's like, if this is what we got is for 15, what was 13 going to be? Because I think, for those of you who play Kingdom Hearts 3, the original character that was supposed to be 13 verses, I think his name is Yuzura. Well, he got put at the end of the game in Kingdom Hearts.
Probably because 15 was announced like 10 years prior. Yeah. Right? Literally around the time 12 came out. And so people were like, oh, this is going to be 13. And it was supposed to be 30, supposed to be verses. And then like the very, very, very first trailer you get is Noctis walking down some steps. Yep. And then he takes out all these soldiers. He's using his ability. Yeah, exactly. And so, but that was like a teaser trailer for years. Mm-hmm. And then there were so many rumors swirling or whatever, and then eventually came out that was Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. Which I think Square had the intention of making it 13 verses. But
I think they took, was it Nomura that was originally had? I think they just took him off the project, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
Probably. But I'd look into that again.
15 definitely goes to my top. Now, saying all that, do you think the Final Fantasy franchise, or Square itself, do you think it's fallen off?
Square as a whole has not fallen off. The thing about Square is we may focus on their two major hitters, which is obviously Final Fantasy and I just brought up Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. Those are two of their, and I think there's another one I'm forgetting. Those are two of their major franchises. Mm-hmm. But then you got to remember, Square has a bunch of other franchises. Yeah. A bunch of other RPGs, like I believe they did Octopath Traveler, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, so like Square's okay. Like now granted they are recording a loss. I think in recent days
because of Final Fantasy 7, and that is understandable because those remakes are trash, and 16 was garbage. And 16, yeah. And here's the thing, and what I wanted to say earlier, before they release 17, they need to go back to their drawing board simply because Clair Obscur is kicking their ass.
Hands down.
So they really need to take notes from Clair Obscur, and whatever they had for Final Fantasy 17, just scrap it and then just start over, basically, because Clair Obscur took a formula that was already there and they made it better.
They did.
Okay.
It's crazy. And I know I don't want to cut you off, but Square was doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. From 1 through 10, it was all turn-based. But every single time, they tried to add a different mechanic to that turn-based system to make it better. And they kept doing it. Final Fantasy X was the best. I said it again. Is the best, or, well, not anymore. We have Clair Obscur now. But one of the best turn-based systems.
Turn-based
systems I have ever seen in a Final Fantasy. It's like, you could have just kept going with that and kept adding on to it. Blocks, parries, all the other stuff. Like, look.
But see, here's the thing. Even if they didn't do that, 15 introduced the free battle and you switch between characters, But the switch between characters in 15 was a little rough, it was a little wonky, right?
It was bad.
Which again, I feel like it was just a test or whatever, and then they made it better with the first remake of Final Fantasy VII,
fine-tuned it so
because the battle system in the Final Fantasy remake games are beautiful.
Hands down.
The story's trash. The animation is great too. The story is just garbage, which I don't understand. God damn, we've talked about this before. I don't understand, why do you have the blueprint and then you deviate from it?
Yeah.
You deviate so heavily from it, right? So yeah, in the first remake, is it? Yeah, remake, you're fighting Sephiroth.
They introduced him way too early.
And then you have that fight way too early. You're leaving Midgard, which is only like fucking 10% of disc 1, and you fight him, and that's the end of that PS4 game. And it's like, why?
Okay.
Why? And then you have the face off, which technically in the original you don't see until the very fucking end.
Right.
Why do you have this face off right now?
Okay, since we're gonna focus on remake now, I just want to say this right now. Remake, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. I think they're both, remake and rebirth, are 7s. Okay, they're not going above that for me. Final Fantasy VII remake and rebirth should have just done what other games do when they redo or remaster. Just follow the original source material.
Mm-hmm.
There was no need to add whispers. Mm-mm. There was no need to introduce Sephiroth early. Nope. There was no need for this unnecessary fleshing out of the city of Midgard.
There was no need to change the story.
Any of it.
You changed the story
You were fleshing out characters that no one cared about.
Right.
There was a guard in Don, I can't even remember his name now.
That has a whole sequence.
I don't care about him.
Why you introduce a new character in Yuffie's DLC?
Then when Cloud had to dress up as a girl so they could sneak in, I didn't need a dance scene. I didn't need that.
Yeah, that is.
You were adding things to fill up space in the game, and we didn't ask for that. You should have just gave us Final Fantasy. Now, once again, it's not hate. It's just.
Oh, I'm hating on the game. You took out core elements and replaced it with fluff. You replaced it with a lot of stuff that doesn't make way too much fluff. You replaced it with stuff that doesn't make Final Fantasy VII specifically Final Fantasy VII.
It does,
right? You took out the chocobo system. You took out the
rebirth.
You took, and because you took out the chocobo system, you took out the summon system. Right? It wasn't really a summon. You had to do side quests and shit for it. But the fact that you have to fight these summons now, which I don't really agree with, simply because to get Knights of the Round, you have to breed the chocobos to get a golden chocobo to go up on that fucking mountain to get Knights of the Round.
And that's done now. I think even before you even do the breeding, you have to go talk to the chocobo sage. The way
they gotta race them.
Yeah, the chocobo sage thing was weird the way they threw that in there.
You got rid of what made Final Fantasy, and then instead of the chocobo system, instead of the summons, you added the Queen's Blood, the fucking card
Queen's
game.
Blood is the dumbest. I played it, obviously, nostalgia gets me. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII thinking, this is going to get better. But it got to the point where I thought it was optional. No, you have to play. You have to play that game.
You have to.
Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, you guys, like Square, we wanted that game solely because we thought we were going to get the original story in today's visuals. That's literally what we were waiting for.
That's really all they wanted.
That's all we wanted.
Yeah, but
there was no need
changed the game so much.
I know I've said this in previous videos. It's a remake. I understand that, but you remade the whole story to where it's not even Final Fantasy VII anymore.
And then at the end,
sales are showing.
At the end of the second one, so Rebirth, that ends.
That whole thing
at the end of disc 1.
Oh man.
Of the original fight, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
I think the thing where.
And then you change Eric's death scene.
Yeah, you changed the death scene. You made it look like Cloud saved her. The whole whisper aspect, where you're basically you're introducing a multiverse. We don't need that. Mm-mm. We don't need that. Like Sephiroth goes from being like, and I'm going to focus on Sephiroth now. Sephiroth went from being this menacing character, like this powerhouse, like this is the dude you do not mess with, to where now he just seems kind of annoying. You keep popping up left and right, like, bro, go away. But if in the original disc, like you said, in Midgar, you never see him. Then when you do
hear about him,
you hear about him, and like the way they bring up his story is like, yo, this is
flashbacks and shit. Yeah. The whole time you're thinking he's dead.
Exactly.
In the original, because he's only in flashbacks. He's only talked about this super soldier, and then you finally see him.
Was it on the boat when you saw him the first time?
I don't know about the first time. I don't remember when you. I do know. Maybe you see him. Or maybe this was a flashback.
That's
you
when
see him taking Genova. That's a flashback.
Yeah. No, you see him in the Shinra building because he kills the president.
Yeah. Oh, you see his weapon.
Yeah, exactly. The
which
sword
he goes back to get apparently.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see his sword because his sword is through his. Yeah.
So it's like, and just like that, you don't see him, but you see the blade. They built him up so well. It's like, who is this dude?
Yep.
Like, is he really that great?
Yep.
But now in Remake and Rebirth, it's like, here he is.
Yeah. And
like, he wants to be seen. Another thing I didn't like, there. Like, there was a scene where Cloud and them were like traveling to Nibelheim, his hometown, and they had to fight a dragon. Now, I think they did it in Rebirth. No, sorry, in the original, Sephiroth, depending on some people's games, 2 shots or 1 shot's that dragon. And then when the dragon tries to attack,
when you play with Sephiroth?
Yeah, when you play with
you
and Cloud.
Yeah.
Cloud does literally like 12 damage to that thing. And if the dragon attacks Cloud, Cloud's going down. The dragon attacks Sephiroth takes 0 damage.
Him out. Yeah.
But in Rebirth, now it's like, it's Cloud and Sephiroth on even level playing field. What?
Yeah, and it's not even Cloud, it's Zack.
Yeah, like, so what?
So you do a dual attack in order to take it down.
That wasn't necessary, because now you're taking away from the lore of Sephiroth. You're supposed to make him look like this otherworldly being, like he's the first class of first class and soldier.
Yeah.
But now he didn't look like that. Now he's just like a regular soldier like everybody else. Like,
so these remakes for Final Fantasy VII, I feel like they're trying to use the graphics to kind of distract you in a way from the story or whatever the case, or that they removed certain mechanics, because I don't really like the whole like you have to do these mini games to catch these chocobos.
I don't like going around
or those specific mini games.
Like, what I don't like is from area to area. You have to like get 7 of this, 8 of this, 5 of this, 10 of this. Like,
and then you have chocobos like to that area, and it's just kind of like, I don't
like the people that defend it. I understand it. Like you just love Final Fantasy, but like you shouldn't be a fan to where you think criticizing what you love is a bad thing. Like, a good fan is going to criticize something they admire or care.
15 was the last good one, and I mean, depending on who you ask,
13 was a little shaky.
Depending on who you ask,
12 too.
That's the decline, or I guess 12 would be the decline. But or shit, some people would say 10-2 was the decline.
10-2 was not good.
I think Final Fantasy fell off, man. Final Fantasy fell off because 16 was horrible.
16
was horrible.
Did something that I just don't understand. Okay. First and foremost, I'm going to say this because I think I put like 100 hours in 16. 16 out of all 16 mainline Final Fantasies has the best visuals.
Visually, yes.
Out of any Final Fantasy you will ever see. No one can say there's not a single one that is the best visually. It has the best visual boss fights I have ever seen in any Final Fantasy. Hands that there's not even a debate. It's not a question.
16 is best fit, but that's all it is.
And that's it. Soundtrack is great too. After that, the main character Clive, and I get a lot of people like Clive and like his character, but he's not that exciting.
Nope.
He's not that exciting as a character. What made Clive kind of interesting was his interactions with Sid, but then Sid gets killed off. And then the personality Clive just kind of becomes, to me, a little, I don't know, would I say one-dimensional? I don't know. He's just not interesting.
Yeah, and then you try to make him interesting.
Yeah,
you gave him a dog, which is cool, but you can't even control.
Now, speaking of that, because I know we talked about this before briefly in another one of our episodes. Why did you take away the party?
There is no. Oh my. And I understand some people go like, oh, it's an adventure game, it's an adventure game. I don't give a fuck, right? So you took away what made Final Fantasy Final Fantasy. Like, I understand if you want to venture into like this adventure kind of area, right? I get that. But the fact that, matter of fact, you can have multiple party members in fucking adventure games.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So the fact that you have a Final Fantasy game and all of the people who come and go, because nobody really stays, are NPCs. You have a dog that you can't even control, right? And like they have the premise where you can turn into like you are a summon, which okay, and then you're Ifrit.
I thought that was cool. I'm not gonna lie.
It was cool.
I thought that was a cool concept to go to.
You could have been Bahamut, but yes,
So
the fact that you don't have these you don't have a party essentially, and there's no real exploration. You have a world map that's not a world map. You go to these points.
You just select the point, fast travel,
and then you just walk those points for a little bit, and it's a boss battle.
Yeah, making Final Fantasy linear was weird. Final Fantasy 16 is like the least Final Fantasy game.
Final Fantasy 16 is a boss rush kind of game.
To an extent, yes.
It's really just
you made it kind of like Devil May Cry ish with the way he fights. I didn't need that, to be honest. It was unnecessary. I know some people love it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, that is not what the fandom wants. Sales will tell you that Final Fantasy 16 barely pushed 3 million copies.
Final Fantasy 17, I tell you what, Final Fantasy 17 needs to be open world. True open world. Like Elden Ring type open world, okay? Open world, you can go,
like
you can
15,
do these things.
just do the same thing.
Yeah, and the battle system needs to be either like Final Fantasy 7, or if you're gonna have it, the turn based, it needs to be like Expedition 33.
Or that if you, I swear, I feel like they have an idea for it.
Mm-hmm.
They just like, we're trying to attract new fans to the series.
Right.
But you gotta understand, a lot of your older fans, we make up majority of your fan base.
But here's the thing: a lot of the Final Fantasies, a lot of them when they came out, I feel like they either pushed the boundaries or reinvented the wheel in a sense.
Yeah, they
right did. In terms of RPG.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you look at like Clair Obscur isn't the first one to have like Black and Parry.
Yeah, it's
right?
not. It's not.
But the way they implement, the way they do it, so beautiful. And then you have like a backup line, that backup team, which is amazing. Okay, and then you have your power structure with your Pictos and Lumina, which is pretty cool, right? So they're taking something that has already been there and they reimagine it or they build upon it.
Same thing they did with 10 with the spear grid and all that good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So, oh God, the way you level up characters. Yeah. So 17 needs to be some form of, we have a little bit of what we're used to, right? The same kind of structure, whatever.
Yeah.
But on top of that, we have something that, we push a new idea or reinvent or something like that, right? So 17 really needs to be open world, though, for sure.
That's. I feel like that should be standard for Final Fantasy.
I mean, outside of the MMO, outside of 14, and I guess outside of 15, what is really like open world? Because I wouldn't even say the remakes or Final Fantasy. I wouldn't even say that's like open world. I wouldn't even say that's like an open world title. What is a true open world Final Fantasy? Mine is 15, because 15 is up there, but what is a true open world Final Fantasy game?
Let's do this. How would you define open world? And I can go off of that and tell you.
Like I said, you look at games like Elden Ring. You look at other games. What's another open world? I guess Baldur's Gate could be open world to an extent. Yeah, Baldur's Gate is open world. What am I talking about? So Baldur's Gate. So Elden Ring. So.
A lot of Final Fantasy.
What game are you playing right now? Hell is Us is open world?
Yeah, Hell is Us is open world. I mean, if that's the case, then a lot of Final Fantasies are open. I'm going to go back to my favorite. Final Fantasy X is open world.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess that would classify.
Final Fantasy VIII is open world. You can literally explore.
Is 8 open?
Yeah, you.
Oh yeah, because
around.
you get yeah. I'm tripping.
7 is open world.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're open world is like a standard for Final Fantasy. It's just like a normal thing.
I guess I'm just so used to these new ones that aren't fucking. Yeah. So they kind of took that.
So when
aspect
16
away.
took it away, it's like, why would you not make? That let me know. Like, I don't know if that the game was maybe a little rushed, or maybe they had an idea and they scrapped it for whatever reason, or maybe they're saving that for 17. I don't know, but like to not make it open world is just weird. That's part of the lore of Final Fantasy. Is like I get to explore and discover.
Yeah, 16 did away with a lot of stuff. 16, they had a lot of money thrown into that game just to throw away ideas.
Yeah,
and Clive, in my opinion, Clive is a forgettable character.
He is. He's not. I really don't get the hype around him. I really don't. I don't understand it. There are better Final Fantasy.
He can turn into a summon. That's a cool concept. Now, if he could turn into every summon, like let's say you defeat a summon, you get like their core or something like that, and instead of summoning them, you become them.
That's cool, but the fact that he can still turn to Ifrit is, I still like that idea. But like him as a character,
summons.
Ifrit's not one of the weakest summons.
Ifrit's not one of the weakest summons?
Ifrit's not one of the weakest summons.
What the fuck? Oh, okay.
Ifrit's not one of them.
Yeah, he is.
Nah.
Yeah, he's early game, weak summon.
Nah, he's a classic. I'm not gonna call him weak though. He's definitely a classic. We ain't gonna call him weak now. Like Bahamut, I get it. He's king of dragons.
Yeah,
I understand.
Bahamut,
That's Bahamut. Like this.
Bahamut. I mean,
understand?
If he could turn into Bahamut, that would be.
Yeah, but Ifrit is damn near Hades at this point. Like,
well, he's got great design. Yeah,
amazing design.
He still loses to Shiva, so. Yeah,
that
Shiva's
depends.
Clapping Ifrit.
He hits one hellfire. She was getting melted. That could go either way.
Yeah.
Opposing elements.
Yeah, they're natural kind of enemies. But anyway, I think 16 was trash, to be honest with you. 16 was trash.
It was probably
did they even announce in 17?
No.
So 7, Remake and Rebirth are trash. There's like a couple good elements, but those are trash. 14 is real cool. 14, actually, their next, I don't know if it was released last year or if it's being released this year. I could be mistaken. But their final expansion is being released or has been released. I got to double check on that. 14 is cool.
Now that you're saying 14, what if they end up making 17 an MMO?
I mean, 14's been going on for years.
Yeah.
So if this expansion is their last expansion and they're just gonna kind of keep the servers open for like the player base.
Yeah.
Then yeah, 17 could be an MMO, but you still have to have it. I mean, you're gonna have to top 14. You're gonna have to literally top 14.
Yeah,
not only you're gonna have to come up with something that not only tops your previous work as in Final Fantasy 14, but you're gonna have to come up with something that tops ESO, the Elder Scroll Online.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to come up with something that tops that. Okay. So I don't. They haven't announced anything with 17. I don't know, but as far as a franchise, I definitely feel like Final Fantasy's on decline.
Once again, I'm just gonna say it again. Like the path they're going, like I know we said pushing the boundaries. This is them trying to push it and try something new. And I'm hoping they see the reaction. Like this isn't the best route to keep going. Let's kind of backtrack a little, go back to what we know works, and then improve on that. And I think that's perfect. Like I said, like you pointed out, Rebirth, that battle system's amazing. If you want to keep using that for future Final Fantasies, I'm so okay with that.
Yeah.
I love that battle system.
They added the team attacks in the latest one.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I'm so okay with that. If you want to go back to turn-based, I'm okay with that too. Those battle systems are not the issue. The issue is you just, for Remake essentially, or specifically rather, just deviating from the main story, removing core aspects of the story that brought us in the first place, and then changing what made the story great. I'm not a fan of that. 16, like I said, visually, amazing. Soundtrack, love it. Boss fights, great. Story, average. Main character, average. The fact that we don't have party members, and every other Final Fantasy has party members. How do you go from 1 through 15 all having parties, and then 16 I'm solo DMC the whole thing? No.
So they have here's what they have. They have their battle systems on point, and they have visually is on point.
Yeah.
Their story's lacking. The characters are lacking.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's an immediate fall off. I would say they tried something new. It didn't work out the way they probably thought it would. And now it's just back to the drawing board. Like, you really have to really reevaluate.
But I mean, that's because they got three back-to-back failures. They got both Final Fantasy 7s, that's a failure,
But
and
keep
they
in
got
mind,
16.
Remake did pretty well. So, like, let's not. I'm not gonna call Remake a total failure. It just wasn't what we expected.
Right.
Right. Remake still did pretty well, but then Rebirth came out, and then it's just like, yo, what are we doing? It kind of surprised me that it got nominated for Game of the Year. Actually, that was a little shocking for me. I don't know how that really worked out.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's a little weird.
It fell flat to me. Like it just
definitely fell flat. And then I'm really curious to see how they're going to do this third installment, because there's still a lot of material they haven't even covered. You don't even have, they introduced Sid, but you can't play as him yet. You
Didn't
still
they
have to
do Vincent
introduce.
too?
They showed Vincent. You can't play as Vincent. So there's still characters they need to involve. And
then they introduced a final fight with Sephiroth.
Oh yeah, you fight him again at the end of. You fight him again, like you have to travel, like you're on the boat that's in the water, and then you travel to this location, and you fight this nigga again. So I feel like they're trying to milk their popular characters, which is Sephiroth and Cloud.
Yeah.
So, and it's just kind of like what are you doing?
Yeah, it's just weird. Once again, I know I keep saying this. It's just, you have the source material. Just follow that. That's all you got to do. It's not a matter of nostalgia. It's just like the original story sold over 14 million copies, made you a worldwide phenomenon. You had movies. You had spin-offs, Crisis Core. I wouldn't call it Crisis or spin-offs. You just had so many separate side stories that came off of that one main game. You now make it with today's graphics. Why would you deviate from the story that made the game great? That makes no sense. Adding a new battle system is fine. Like I said, I love that battle system. But
for
Remake.
Yeah,
but just deviating from the story is just weird to me. You can flesh out a story without completely going left from the story. There was no need to remove any of the systems that we grew to love.
God, they fucked up Aerith so bad.
Yeah.
They fucked up Aerith
now it's
so
weird.
bad.
Cloud is just like seeing
because
her.
you save her, but then Sephiroth's like, yeah, no, you didn't. And then, but she doesn't really die because you still use her to fight Sephiroth.
It's
and then you use Zack, who has been dead for years now,
like,
to fight the lower version.
Do you know what like they're getting right in Final Fantasies? I love the fights, but they're not getting the story right. 16, great fights.
Yeah.
Great visuals. Remake and Rebirth, I love the fights. I love the visuals. But the story's like, what?
So let me get this straight. So you're fighting Sephiroth, and while you're fighting Sephiroth, not only does he kill Aerith, that you don't even realize she's dead.
Yeah.
But I guess Aerith is able to bring back the dead, because, like I said, Zack is fighting.
Yeah, she revived.
At the same time.
You fought with Aerith at the end of the.
And then you're fighting with.
You fought with Zack. You fought with Aerith. They both came back from the dead. I don't even know how that works, but it works.
Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy in general, the franchise is failing because I just, they're ignoring. Like I said, their story isn't their story is pretty trash. The battle system's great, the visuals are great.
Yeah.
It's just everything else is just really falling short.
Yeah.
Because if they would have kept and also not only that, but I kind of feel like the Final Fantasy 7 specifically franchise at this point is just kind of a money grab, because instead of releasing a full game, because you could have released the full goddamn game, you're releasing it in bits and pieces to essentially get more money, because now you're going to charge $70, $80 for installment number 3, and then after a year or two you're going to charge another
for the whole thing.
Yeah, $70, $80. Oh, get versions 1, 2, and 3 all at once. And it's just kind of like, I feel like we're just getting, at this point, we're just getting glorified demos, right? For $70, $80 price tags. So instead of putting it all in one, you're trying to Final Fantasy 7 is doing a couple things right now. Instead of putting it all in one, you're giving us these glorified demos for these prices, so you're getting money. So it's a money grab. You're trying to exploit your two most popular characters, being Cloud and Sephiroth.
Yep.
Right, in hopes to kind of sell. And then you're deviating from what actually even made, or key elements that actually even made Final Fantasy 7. And you're choosing to focus on stuff that either wasn't in the game or stuff that just didn't matter at all. Like you said, the security guard for What's His Face has a whole fucking story, and it's like, why? That makes zero sense. So you're getting rid of key mechanics from the game, like the Chocobo system and things like that. So honestly, I feel like it's failing because people are starting to realize that this iteration feels like a money grab. It feels like a money grab.
Yeah, it's just not what.
Yeah.
It's not what we expected. Not what we wanted. I don't know, bro. It's. Once again, like I said, I know they tried something different. It's not working. The dip in their profits are showing that. I'm sure there are other projects there probably having issues as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know it can't just solely be Final Fantasy that's causing these major issues. I'm sure they have a plethora of other projects. Maybe some aren't doing as well as they would hope. But focusing solely on the Final Fantasy franchise, it just wasn't the best move. It just wasn't. And I'm stuck on 16. Like you said, don't get rid of those core aspects that make Final Fantasy great. That's all.
16 was so
That's
garbage,
all.
man. 16 was fucking...
Technically, it is the lowest selling Final Fantasy in the mainline series.
16?
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 was just
Yeah.
trash. Yeah, I don't fuck with 16.
It just
16
wasn't
was, yeah. God, I did not like 16 at all. I didn't even finish 16, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I finished it. I finished it, but they had a Final Fantasy mode, and when I played it, like, all you did was increase everybody's levels, and the bosses are just a little bit harder. That's not nice.
Yeah.
There's no Final Fantasy mode about that.
With the state that RPGs, just as a whole, not just JRPGs, but the state that RPGs are in or headed to, and the state that adventure games are with the state that they're in right now, I feel like in terms of the Final Fantasy franchise, it's just not keeping up. It's not causing any waves. It's not being talked about in a manner of how good it is. It's being talked about like in a negative kind of fashion. It's not selling, and again, I just feel like a lot of people are starting to notice that not only is it underperforming, but they're trying to get money, bleed money out of you for an underwhelming game.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it again. I know we've said this multiple times. It's just because they're deviating from what make the aspects that make Final Fantasy great. An amazingly compelling story with great MC and side characters, and each and every one of them have their stories explained, their backstories fleshed out perfectly. You have an open world where the exploration is endless, and there are different secrets you can uncover. You have different modes of travel that just make it like, whoa, I can do this. Final Fantasy gives you so much freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do in this world. And then you get to experience different worlds and their customs and how things work in each and every one of these worlds. It is interesting. But then when you remove that, it's like, what am I playing here? I run through the town, get to the objective, done, fight this boss like you just said, done, next. Okay, boss battle, this major boss battle. Oh, I can turn into an Esper, great.
Yeah, there's no exploration.
It's not.
I mean, even with the Final
it's
Fantasy,
flashy.
even with the
That's it.
7 remakes, there's no exploration. Not only is there no exploration, because the exploration is just like side
exploration
shit.
it's not interesting.
It's not, and then half the time you're forced to do it. So
it wasn't needed.
And then they got the nerve to figure out, why are we losing money? Because this is trash.
Yeah, the whole thing with Rebirth, I think they had like the missionary board where you can do like little quests to help people out. That wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
That was you filling up space in the game. You didn't need to put that in there.
Yeah.
You did not need to put that in there.
Yeah.
Should have just gave us the whole game, honestly.
Yeah, they should have just waited. But all right, that is going to be it for this episode. If you guys love, please be sure to like and subscribe, share, all the good things. Be sure to check us out on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Again, we have a lot more stuff coming, a lot more material. And again, thanks for watching.